Hey everyone, Chris here with a second attempt at this video. The first one had some technical difficulties where something happened where the video while it was recording skipped and it ended up not showing one of the cards, one of Mickey Mantle. I mean, who wants to see Mickey Mantle, right? But anyway, it messed up all the voices and it wasn't showing the right card. And interestingly enough, I was doing something where I read the back and kind of letting people kind of see if they could guess who it was before I showed it. And of course that made it real easy. So if you're watching this for the second time, I hope you like it a little better this time. If you're watching it for the first time, what I'm doing is I'm kind of sharing a little project that I started a while back, and it is the 1961 Topps All-Star Baseball set. And it's a 22 card subset in the 1961 set. It's part of the high number series, so those are a little more difficult to obtain. And some people say that the 1961s are the most difficult of all the high numbers in the 1960s. So out of the 22 cards, I have 12 of those. Now what kind of started my journey on this is I've always liked the design. I love the old school newspaper design. And I think it's just great. It takes you back to a certain time when people would read the newspaper to learn about different things, and especially reading about sports and that kind of thing. And I wanted to get a Roger Maris just because of the historical significance as far as the 1961 baseball season, which was just kind of a magical baseball season. And so this was the first one that I picked up. And when I got it, I really fell in love with the idea of kind of finishing this set, or maybe picking up a few more and then eventually finishing the set. And so I got the Roger Maris because of he and Mickey Mantle making that assault on Babe Ruth's single season home run record in 1961, trying to match Babe Ruth's 60 home runs for a season. And of course he did end up doing that. Roger also won his second of his back-to-back MVPs, going back-to-back in 1960 and 1961. Now the Yankees had a great season that year. They actually won 109 games and beat out the Detroit Tigers, who won 101 games that year. So they beat them out to win the American League pennant. Now this is a card that kind of got messed up when I was doing the original video, and it is Mickey Mantle. Now Mickey Mantle, along with Roger Maris, they were both making a run at that home run record, and Mickey got hurt late in the season and ended up with 54 home runs. One of the things I really enjoy about this particular set is the biographies written up on the back. It just goes into a lot of great detail, and it takes me back to when I was a kid. I loved reading the backs of cards. It's how I learned about the different players, and I kind of just had this thirst for just wanting to learn more and more about all these different players. So I would spend hours and hours just kind of reading the backs of these cards. So this takes me back to that. And I think it kind of keeps in touch with the way I do my videos today. It's why I like to talk a lot about the players, and I really love the research aspect when I'm getting ready to do a video, because I learn a lot of new things and it just kind of refreshes my memory of some other things as well. And it just takes me back to that time when I was a child, and I would love to read the backs of the cards and just continue to learn about all these great players. Now in 1961, actually from 1959 until 1962, they would play 2 All-Star games. And the reason they did that is it was going to be used to help players with their player pensions and kind of give them a little more money. Now, it wasn't very popular, and what the MLB determined was that it was kind of taking away some of the allure of the All-Star game, having 2 of them. So after the 1962 All-Star games, they discontinued that. But now for the 1961 All-Star team, you of course had the 2 managers, and the manager for the National League was Paul Richards, or I'm sorry, not the National League, the American League, was Paul Richards of the Baltimore Orioles, and he actually replaced Casey Stengel, who did not have his contract renewed after the 1960 World Series when the Yankees lost to the Pittsburgh Pirates off Bill Masrowski's walk-off home run in the 9th inning. So Paul Richards was the replacement for Casey Stengel. And of course, the manager for the National League was Danny Murtaugh, the Pittsburgh Pirates, Of course, he was the manager for the Pirates when they won the 1960 World Series. He recently got some recognition and some push for, I forget what it's called, some sort of veterans committee, though, for the old timers, for Hall of Fame consideration. Now, what I did in the first video is I would read a little bit off of the backs of these cards and gave people a chance to kind of play along and see if they could guess who the player was before I actually showed it. So I think I'll do that again. Now, for this player, it says he has won so many awards during his star-studded career that listing them individually could fill up a record book. The veteran all-star second baseman is one of baseball's steadiest performers and has led the American League in hits in 3 different years, and last season connected with his 2000th hit. Named the most valuable player in the American League in 1959, the hustling second baseman was a key factor in the Chicago White Sox pennant victory that year. And that player would be none other than Nellie Fox. Second baseman there. Beautiful looking card. This next player caused quite a commotion over in Pittsburgh last year when he poked a home run over the left field fence in Forbes Field to defeat the New York Yankees in the World Series. Of course, we just talked a little bit about him. A second baseman, Bill Masrowski. A lot of people consider Masrowski one of the best defensive second basemen of all time, maybe even the best of all time. This next player, the back of this card says, "Youth is the word sports fans always mention when they talk about the Orioles. Baltimore's 24-year-old third baseman is a top-flight fielder and a skilled hitter at the plate." That one may be easy for a lot of you. That is the great Brooks Robinson, one of the greatest third basemen defensively to ever play. Just a pretty good guy as far as fan friendliness goes as well. Does a lot of signing through the mail. Charges a very reasonable fee from what I remember. And this next player had his best season in the major leagues last year as he hit his own personal high in batting average and runs batted in. The small Venezuelan was voted the American League Rookie of the Year in 1956. That would be shortstop for the Chicago White Sox, Luis Aparicio. Great looking card there. A shortstop with power is very rare in baseball, but this player led the major leagues with 41 home runs last season, with many good years of ball still ahead of him. This player has already written himself into the record books. Last year he set a new major league record for most home runs by a shortstop with 269. And that player would be the great Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks. Just a fantastic player during his playing day. Again, just a beautiful card that kind of takes you back to that era of baseball. This next player is someone who I believe is truly very, very underrated. This player was signed for a large bonus by the Tigers in 1953. By 1955, he had won his first American League batting championship, the youngest player ever to win the title. Very, very underrated player who just had a great career, won a World Series with the 1968 Tigers, and that's Detroit Tiger great Al Kaline. In case you were wondering, of the 10 cards that I am missing to complete this set, the biggest are Willie Mays and Hank Aaron. A lot of the other ones will be a lot easier to get. I am missing Frank Robinson also, but then I'm missing a lot of kind of lower tier guys that I guess a lot of people would consider commons. But this next player, just tell you a little, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to read the back of this one. I just want to tell you a little bit about Whitey Ford and his great season in 1961. Just an unbelievable season that you almost never really hear anyone talk about, but Whitey Ford was 25-4 in 1961. And in the World Series, he won 2 games against the Cincinnati Reds, pitched 2 shutouts against them, in fact, and was the MVP of the World Series in 1961, but also won the lone Cy Young Award. They only gave out one award back then to the best pitcher, but he won the Cy Young Award in 1961. I think it's a great card to have just because of the historical significance of the year that he had in 1961, and a lot of people really don't even talk about it, which is amazing. 25-4. And then the last card I'm going to show is Warren Spahn, another, to me, underrated pitcher. Warren Spahn was 40 years old in 1961. I believe he won 21 games and had quite a few complete games as well. And just a unbelievable pitcher that, to me, doesn't get enough hobby love. He was the first left-handed pitcher to win 300 games in the National League. And just an incredible pitcher. He also pitched a no-hitter in 1961 as well. At 40 years old, just an incredible pitcher. I hope this one turned out better than the original video I tried with this. Anyway, for those that may be watching it the second time, I appreciate it. And those that are watching the first time, thank you for watching as well. Take care, and we will see you later.